they're my primary tool.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I'm going to record this.
Okay.
No, I think that with the sun coming out and, you
The
know,
daffodils are popping their heads out.
and I think that, you know, buyers are starting, sellers are starting to realize that this is the market for a little bit. And if there's motivation, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw a headline yesterday. This is Case Shiller, and their headline is "This Housing Market Recession is Over."
Oh,
And Case Shiller is a pretty reputable source in my book. They've talked about how, in spite of the Fed's attempts to dampen and damper things down, people need houses, and sales are expected to increase. They're actually calling this a home surge of 14.5% in February. Now that's nationwide, but yeah, I was glad to see this little chart. Look at that.
that's
It's a
awesome.
hypothetical chart, but it's a positive visual.
Yeah, and I think that as rates improve, I think we're just even going to see more so. I think buyers are settling into what's going on, and you know, we're seeing really great things happening. How are you doing, Don?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome. How are you, Mike?
Good. How are y'all doing?
Good. Hey, I was going to go through something today. I don't want to spend all of our time on it, but it's something that I have done over the last, probably over a decade. Has anybody heard of like the main close, or it's been referred to as the master close? It's like, it's more so like when you're in a listing presentation, you've got a motivated seller, and they say something along the lines of, you know, we just want to sleep on it. We just want to think it over. Have you ever been in a situation where, you know, you feel like you've got a motivated seller, everything, the stars are aligned, you feel like everything should be happening and you should be taking that listing, and you've given a great presentation, and, you know, there is that like small percentage of population that really do need to think about it. You know what I mean? But there's a large percentage that maybe just have some objections. Maybe they're talking to another agent. They don't like the price you've set. They don't like your commission. You're not doing something like a drone or staging, or you're not doing something that they want you to do, and maybe somebody else is doing that, right? And you haven't uncovered the objection. So this, I thought I had the right thing up here. So did you guys was this script attached to the anything today?
As far as the announcement on the meeting goes, or what?
Yes.
Let me look.
And if it was not, I will send it to you guys. But this is something that I have just, I mean, if you practice it, it becomes really second nature. It's like, I'm like kind of circling back around and giving 3 positive questions, and then kind of like uncovering the objection without leaving the house and just saying, well, I'll call you in a week, right? Because I think that's our normal response, is just to say, you know what, think about it, and, you know, I'll give you a call in a couple days. And then you find out they've listed the house with somebody else. Especially when you know they're highly motivated, you've worked with them before, maybe their nephew just got a license, right? And you like, you know that like you're the best person for the job, and they're highly motivated. That's these kind, I mean, you guys are all experienced agents. And I think this is something that when you're in a situation like this, I think this will just kind of tip you over the edge as far as taking that listing. And so what it is, Joyce, will you be the seller with me? And I'll just kind of run through this the way that it kind of sounds. I'll be the agent, and then we'll maybe have, if you guys want to practice it real quick, we'll do this.
Okay.
Okay. So we're sitting at their kitchen table, and we've just had the presentation. And Joyce, all we need to do is get some paperwork signed and we'll get you guys going to Ohio. So your kids can get going in the schools on time and, we can get you on your way. And so you're just going to say, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did I cut you off when I went,
No, you
right.
know what you're doing.
Katie, yeah, you've presented some pretty good information. This is really a big decision we're making. I think we need to sleep on this tonight. We need a little time to make a decision.
Joyce, I completely understand. This is a big decision for you and your family. You guys have been here a long time. And if I were in you guys' position, I would feel exactly the same way. And, from what I understand, getting this home sold and getting moved on to Ohio, and the time frame of everything, making sure your kids get going to school on time, getting the house sold here in the next 60 days, getting it closed, making sure you get moved with your husband on time is a high priority for you and your family. Is that correct?
It is.
Absolutely. And I know it's important for you to list with an agent that finds it a priority to get you the most money, to expose it at a high level so that you get the most money in your pocket so that you can buy what you want, get that home, for your family. Is that correct?
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing we need to think about, Katie. And maybe it's just pie in the sky in our thinking, but there's a house 2 streets over that sold for $35,000 more than what you're saying ours is worth, and we just knocked out this wall and put in these beautiful new kitchen counters, and we're just seeing houses all over our neighborhood. We were kind of thinking we could get about 50,000 more than what you have laid out in front of us.
Well, Joyce, thank you.
We need to be sure.
Thank you for sharing that with me. So about 50,000 more because you've seen the neighbor. And which neighbor are you referring to? The one just right here across the street? The one we were talking about earlier?
That's one of them, yes. And about 2 streets away, there's a Rambler. Now, does it make a difference that ours is a tri-level? Because there's a Rambler that sold for a lot more than what you're proposing.
Joyce, it's a tricky thing with appraisers. They are, if there are 3 comparables that are, apples to apples, if there are ramblers that are 3 comparables that are within a near vicinity of each other, I've never seen an appraiser use a Rambler and a 2-story or, different styles. When we went through COVID, there was a time when I did see that happen, but they've kind of gone back to apples for apples. So if you have a 2-story, if there are 3 similar 2-stories within a near vicinity, they're not ever going to venture out and use something of a different style. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
And this is where I called you because I know you have experience that I don't have. We just sort of had a number in our head that we were hoping we could get for our home, so we could pay off our car and have a down payment,
Absolutely, which is totally understandable. Is there any other homes that you've seen that are higher priced, similar to yours, that you feel like, your price could be pushed more?
Not that I can put my hands on, but if you're able to find anything that would help to give us a higher value, maybe take a second look, we'd appreciate that.
Absolutely. And Joyce, besides price, is there any other reason that would prevent us from working together? Are there any other?
No, you've come well recommended from our friends who used you a few years ago, and so we trust their judgment, which helps us to then have confidence in you.
Okay, great. And so let's just talk about this price for just a second. We're in a market where we haven't seen multiple offers for a little bit. So, you guys understand that, we want to price it well, because there's 3 things that are going to happen when you put your home on the market. you're either going to, in the first 72 hours, you're either going to have it sit there and we're not going to see anything, or we're going to get 1 or 2 offers, which means we priced it just right with the market, or we're going to have multiple offer situations, which we're seeing again. And so that means that we priced it a little too low, but I'll tell you what, that's your ideal situation, because that means that buyers are going to drive the price up. You're going to get more than you will otherwise. And the other thing that's going to happen is they're not going to ask for any concessions. They're not going to ask for any repairs, because they're going to be fighting over your price, over getting your home. And
I
so
like that.
you're going to win all the way around. When I pulled up these stats, we do have that one included in with, these others that I compared your home with. And
Right.
this is the price that I feel like if we sold the home, this is what an appraiser would value the home at. So if we did push your price, because we are seeing multiple offer situations, just know that if we don't see anything, because you guys are trying to get moved and you're trying to get that certain time frame, I would be coming back to you pretty quickly to say, hey, let's drop your price so that, it's kind of like stale bread. You don't want to leave it out there too long, because it's just going to lose value really quickly. And I want you guys to get the most value that you possibly can on the property. And truly, I've been doing this for a really long time. The more you price it just right under in this market, the more benefit you're going to have, the higher price you're going to get. You're going to see, more for your money.
All right. Well, that's a good way to look at it. All right. I think we can go ahead and move forward with you tonight.
Are you okay with the price that we've set?
Based on your overview and your good explanation, yes.
Okay, awesome. So Joyce, all we need to do is just get a couple things signed and we can get everything going marketing as soon as possible and get your family on their way.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's do it.
Perfect. So this mainly just goes through like reminding them of their motivation by asking the positive yes questions. And then you're isolating, right? Is there anything else? And it's going to be price, commission, what the agent's doing for them, right? Or they've got a buyer, right? They have another agent they're talking with that has buyers. You guys, that's the biggest thing I've ever seen with other agents is they've told them that they have buyers, right? I can't tell you how many times, you guys have probably seen the same thing, that when the seller says, well, we want to meet with somebody else. And you say, hey, how about if I reach out to that other agent? You won't need to. I'll let them know that I will let them be the first agent to get their buyers through. That way they can collect the buyer agent commission, and they also have a chance to collect in on that commission. And they're like, oh, would you do that? It's like, yes, of course I will.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you, that is the reason they want to talk to other agents. 99% of the time. If you've given a great presentation and they don't have they're not family, or you know what I mean? There's not some tie to them in some way. It's because they've told them they have these great buyers. So
Yeah, that's a great line. I like to pull for sale by owner signs and carry them away, offer to do that, but that's, I hadn't thought how to deal with that tag of they have a buyer. So that's a good thought.
right. So as you notice, as we were going through this script, Joyce kind of told me, I was only on the second question, and Joyce kind of just volunteered that it was the price. And you're going to see that you may not get through all the 3 questions, and they may just all of a sudden just tell you the objection, or
Right.
you're going to get through all the yes questions, and you're going to get telling to, you're going to ask all 3 questions, and you don't have to ask these 3 questions. If you look on number 4, it can be based on motivation, time frame, where, what, why, a committed agent. I kind of mixed number 2 with, you want to use a committed agent like myself, type of thing. So you can, anything, because you're not going to have this script most likely in front of you. So that's just to give you an idea of what to go from with those 3 positive questions, right? In my brain, I always think motivation, agent, company. So the first one's going to be, I know you want to get to Ohio, da, 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 da. And I know you want to use an agent that's going to get you the most amount of money. And then number 3 is always, you want to use a brand that's going to expose your home at the highest level and get you the highest, price for your home. So those are kind of 3 that kind of go-tos, so that like you can like think of 3 positive questions as you're doing this. So you get down to the 3, and let's just say they're like, you know what, I can't think of anything. We just really, or like they're just, it's just complete silence. So as you can see, I've got like a blank where it says pause. And a lot of us have trouble, with silence. And it's okay to like just kind of let them think for a minute, like what are those objections they're having? And if they can't think, mention price. So instead of mentioning commission, or is there something I'm not doing for you, bring up, is it the price that's an issue for you? Because if it's not the price, they're going to say, no, it's the commission. Or no, we've had somebody over that's going to do the drone and you didn't mention that, right? So it's going to bring out what is the objection? What is the hang up, if there is one?
Okay.
Does that make sense? So if there's a pause, they can't think of anything. They really do need to think about it and there's nothing you can do, right? Come back, call them in a couple of days. Or at least bring up price. Hey, are you guys okay with the price that we discussed? And 99% of the time, if there is an objection that has not been brought out, it's going to be brought out then, because they're going to either say, yeah, we really don't like the price you've set. Or, you know what, it's not really the price, but no one's asked for that much commission. Or, you're not doing this for us. So it like brings out those objections that maybe they have not brought out yet. So you don't leave there just because you're not doing the drone, or because you're not staging the house, or some little thing that some other agents promised and you could do just as easily, right?
Right.
All right, does anyone want to give this a try? You don't have to. We can move on to something else. I just wanted to kind of introduce this because I think it's a really great way to kind of circle back around and try to uncover objections without just leaving.
I'd love to hear Don and Mike. I'd like to learn from their patterning, if that's something you're comfortable with, guys.
Are one of you guys willing to give it a try?
Yeah, I can do it if needs be.
Awesome, Mike. Don, will you be the seller?
Yeah, I do have to leave in a few minutes because I have a meeting at 9.
Okay, well, Joyce, will you be a seller?
We have time for Don and Mike to do it.
Okay, I think can you be on until 9, Don?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Try to make this quick. All comes down to your concerns, Don. All comes down to.
If he has to leave,
I've got a lot.
All right, I'll get into it then. Well, Don, after what I've stated, how do you feel about me representing you and listing your home for sale?
You did a great presentation, Mike. We just have a couple of concerns that we want to probably talk over privately before we commit to anything right now.
Okay, understandable. Is there anything that you're thinking about right now that we could maybe discuss that might be a concern? Maybe I can answer some questions for you.
No, we just need to make sure this is a move we really want to make and that we're not, putting the cart before the horse.
Absolutely understandable. Oftentimes when I'm talking with clients who end up having me list their home, their concerns usually range between things like motivation or time frame, where they're moving, how they're going to logistically get it set up with possibly looking for a home while selling their home, and even looking at an agent or multiple agents. Is it, without getting into it, is it one of those things that you're worried about or concerned about?
Yeah, maybe just time frame.
Time frame. Okay. So are you thinking of trying to get a home while you're selling your home? That's not uncommon, especially in this environment where people are worried about selling their homes when they're trying to buy another one.
That's not the biggest concern. It's just pulling the trigger.
Okay, okay. Well, absolutely. If you need to take some time to talk about it, think about it, I recommend that, especially between the two of you. But if you have any questions, definitely come back and let me know. As far as that time frame goes, is there anything else that maybe I can answer or help out at the moment?
No, we we agree with your price. We're good with that. Good with your ability to get the home sold. We just have to make sure it's the right thing for us to do at this time.
Okay. Are you also considering between different agents? Is there an agency issue?
No, not so much.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that it's going to be listed at the price that you think is reasonable. And if that's an issue, we can have that discussion about price. Common objections that I see or concerns that clients have is about the right price. Make sure they're with the right brokerage or right agent. And also if they, again, just other things. I don't know if it's a commission thing, you can let me know that as well.
No, I think you're our guy, Mike. We will go with you. We just have to make sure this is what we really want to do.
Okay, well, I'll let you to it and you can discuss it. And if you have any questions, no matter what time, go ahead and text me or let me know if you need to know anything else. And if you are able to discuss that and overcome it, is there anything else that might prevent you from or prevent us from listing your home and working together?
No, we just need to get some confirmation that we're doing the right thing.
Okay. Do you have time to talk tomorrow, maybe in the afternoon, more about it? Will that be?
Why don't you give us the weekend?
Okay. I can give you the weekend and I can contact you on Monday if that works for you. Are you available in the morning?
Yeah. Well, that should be fine.
Okay. All right. Let me know again if there's any other objections that you have or any concerns that you have. I'm happy to answer them.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if that was any good or not. I didn't really get the sale.
I was impressed because he basically gave you a no on all of the 10 or 12, but you kept going until he committed to you. So that was, you persisted a lot longer than I think the average person would.
Yeah, I thought you did a great job, Mike.
Well,
You were
thanks.
a
I was
tough
trying to find
bugger,
out your
Don.
concern without
No.
prying too much, because I understand when a couple's saying, we need to discuss this privately. Okay, you don't want me in the room when you're discussing it, so.
Yeah.
Don was tough because there's conditions and there's objections. And that was more of a condition. Like, I mean, I've heard of an agent asking if they can go pray with the couple. Like, that's almost all you could do in like a couple needing to decide a time frame.
Well, I'm determined that there weren't
You
many
can't help a couple
objections.
decide a time frame.
Yeah, we got to the point where he talked about time. I didn't want to pry too much on time, but agency wasn't an issue.
No,
Commission wasn't an issue.
No.
Price wasn't an issue.
no,
So,
commission wasn't, I mean, you went through all the points, Mike. But that's
You
what I'm
did.
saying. Don threw out like a condition almost, like it wasn't something that, could be overcome by. But that's the thing is, if we ask enough questions, we know if it's a condition or an objection that we can overcome, correct?
yeah, that's good to know. And you also want to reach a point where you still have respect on either side of the line that you're discussing. And if you
Absolutely.
try too much and push too much, you lose that respect. And I've talked with clients who basically were like, oh, we talked with another agent and all they wanted to do was get the sale. They just pushed it.
Absolutely, for sure.
Mhm.
If you walk into someone's home and your only intention is to do what's best for them, even if it's leaving, you know what I mean? You're going to get so much more in return. They're going to send business your way. You're going to get their business later down the road. I mean, your main objection is to do what's best for them, right?
Yes.
So always.
When you mentioned you had to sleep on it, I haven't used this for years because our market has been multiple offers. But when dealing with a buyer who was thinking about a home and they'd say, we need to sleep on this, I would always say, We'll take this lovely little MLS printout and put it under your pillow when you go to sleep tonight. So anyway, yeah, we haven't had to deal with that kind of thinking for a long time. No, Mike, you were very persistent without coming across as self-interested. So
Oh, thanks.
I think that was good.
Very good. All right, anybody else want to give it a try? Joyce, do you want to give it a try?
I'm here to learn, yeah.
Okay, we'll have Mike be the seller since Dawn needs to jump off here in a second. Thanks, Dawn.
Okay. All right. Bye, Dawn.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, now that we've had a chance to look at everything, what are your thoughts as to the information I've presented?
It all makes sense, and it sounds like something that we need to move on. I appreciate you giving me the information, and it's something we'll consider, and I'd like to get back with you maybe in a day or so.
Okay. So what are some of the things that you still need to consider, or that I can maybe better answer questions as you and your wife are going to talk further?
Well, you answered all of our questions. I don't really have any major concerns or whatever, but I think we're gonna try and talk about it and figure out when and if we're going to pull the trigger.
Okay. Are there some factors that we haven't talked as far as when you'd be ready? Are we looking at maybe when the school year ends, or employment timeframes that I haven't asked you about? Share with me what some of the factors are that will help you to know when it's the right time.
I think the right time, I don't know if it's a timing thing. I think we're ready to go, that we need to do it, but we just need to kind of discuss, again, maybe working with Remax as opposed to possibly somebody else.
Okay, well, I appreciate your forthrightness on that. You know, Remax is the #1 recognized name in the real estate industry worldwide. So we do have a whole network for the opportunities for me to help give your home additional exposure. This chart here in your packet, we look at the chart, shows that you're likely to get 150 million hits on your home exposure. Are there some things that another company is offering that I haven't shared with you, that another company you feel might bring something else to the table that I can address that?
Well, I have a buddy at work whose brother is an agent, and he's been kind of pushing him on me, telling me that he'll be able to do it for really low commission, and that he lists a lot of homes, and he works for a company called Sell It Fast, and I like the name of that company.
You know, I'm sorry, Mike, I cut you off. Go ahead.
I'm just saying I haven't met his brother yet. He was just, telling me
Right.
about it.
Well, you know, if when we look at selling a home, Mike, we look at price, condition, and location. Your location is ideal. The condition of your home is beautiful. It reflects care. It's a clean home when I walked in. So price is our big issue. And selling a house fast generally means that the price is reduced a little bit less than what you might ideally get for the home. We can throw a home out there and price it a little below the market expectation, but is that going to serve your long-term goals to potentially sell the house for less and not have quite as much money to work with as you move into your next property?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sell it for less, definitely. I want to be able to get the most I can out of it.
Yeah, sell it fast is kind of a zippy little catch byline, but it generally means price reduction or offering the home at less, because we are all advertising your home to the 14,000 real estate agents that work in this market alone, as well as through, of course, Remax, we have international exposure. I certainly respect that you do want to check out all of your options. And I don't know where to go from here. Give me some help.
And you're doing you're working on the perfect route. I mean, I think at that point, I think close him. Say, I mean, you've already explained that, you know, going through a discount company, you're going to get a discounted price. And, you know, wouldn't it be, you know, worth it to go through a, you know, an international company that can, you know, give you a higher price? I mean, has she said enough to convince you, Mike?
Yeah, in fact, let's go back a couple steps. It was her perfect question. She hit it on the head when she said, is there anything else? And I can't remember exactly how you said it. I should have written it down. But you said something like, is there anything else that I don't know about that you could tell me that might be, you know, I don't remember how you said it. Maybe you can remember, Katie, but you said it really well. Something like, is there anything that you haven't told me about that I need to know to be able to help you or to be able to list your home?
Okay.
And that's what I was looking for, because what I was doing was hemming and hawing. It wasn't a time frame thing. You asked about the time frame. It wasn't the price. It was another agent. And oftentimes we see that where they're, you know, I've had people recently just being like, well, I want to be honest with you. I'm talking to you, but I'm also talking to another agent, you know,
Right.
girlfriend's boss or something like that. I can't remember how they put it. And so you already told us about the validity of Remax. And what I think I was looking for was I mean, Katie said it right. You needed to close, and the way to close, and it's easy to say from my perspective because I'm looking at it from the other side,
Right.
is to sell yourself.
Okay.
That was a point right there where you could sell yourself and you could tell me why you're better than my coworker's brother who I haven't met. And he works for a company that sounds great, but I have no idea how he is as an agent. And so
Okay.
the selling point would be, here's what I've done recently for my clients in this market. I've been able to help them list and close and get a good price on their home. And I will do the same for you.
Excellent.
And then maybe, as she was telling us earlier, you know, knowing what you know and what I've been able to provide for my other clients, you know, what would keep you, or if you talked with them, and, you know, I don't know, maybe Katie can tell us the best closing for that.
And I want to hear what you have to say. But that triggers this is where I sometimes say to people, you know, my slogan is, I'm your realtor for life. And my approach is, you are my first priority, not just making another commission and selling your home quickly to get it checked off and put a new commission in my bank account. Why, I can track one chain of family and friends to 29 transactions going back over the years. And that's my hope, is that I provide you the service and take you through all the steps from start to finish that you feel that you've earned, that I've earned every dollar out of this transaction, and that I've obtained your goals on your behalf for you.
Do you provide that service? Do you keep them for life?
I do.
So
I do.
What I'm looking
Really?
for then is for you to sell me on it, to tell me on it. Not that you don't lack it. I'm just saying you've got.
I need to say it.
The part, you sound the part, and all you need to do is close, is to be the part, to confidently say, I'm your agent. I can get this done for you, because you have everything down. You do everything right. And so what I'm looking for, because I'm vacillating, going, maybe my coworker's brother. Oh, are you kidding? So maybe exactly how you're going to get it done, and assume the close, like they say, assume the close, and be like, I can get this done for you. I have the experience, I have the knowledge, and if you like everything I've told you right here, you know.
And Joyce, Mike kind of hit it on the head when he's like, through this whole close, it's about isolating all the objections.
Okay.
So maybe the way to close would be, say, after you get done with that confidence, like, you know, this is what I do, and like everything you just said with all that confidence, and then say, Mike, is there anything else that you would need from me in getting this property sold? And if he says, No, say, well, all we need to do is get a couple of things signed and we'll get you on your way.
Okay.
Like, that's your close, right? So go back, like, you just finished saying everything that you said, and then ask if there's anything else.
So Mike, having said that, and knowing that I would be putting forth my years of experience, is there anything else that you have questions about? Is there anything else?
No, everything seems fine. I was just, thinking about this other agent.
Well, I'm here tonight sitting with you and your wife, and I'm ready to pull the trigger and get things moving forward on your behalf. Should we go ahead and get the paperwork signed and be done with? Should we just go ahead and get the paperwork signed and let me get to work?
Yeah, I don't have any promises to my friend. And I like your presentation. So, if you can give me what you're telling me, then I don't see a reason why not to.
Okay, absolutely. Once we sign on together, I am full steam ahead working on your behalf. I think you've made a good decision. Let's go ahead and get your signatures.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And there is all kinds of things to talk about with commissions. And I think it's our hardest objection, right? So there's, especially right now, think about, that extra 2%, right? Or like when someone agrees to do like a 4% commission, or they bring up, will you do the listing at 4%? Think about the agents out there, like all the agents that have entered into the market, like in the last couple of years, where, they'll just go out and just put a sign in the yard just to get referrals off the sign, right? So you could approach it from an angle of, I am a listing agent. I'm going to get your home sold. My main goal is not just to put a sign in your yard just to collect referrals. And a lot of times I'll even tell a seller, we as listing agents don't do a good job of explaining what we do as a listing agent. We're going to expose and market your home at a high level. You're hiring me as a proactive agent because I'm out making phone calls. I'm paying for advertising, not only through social media, but in other places. I spend 1% in time and money just listing your property. So if I'm listing your home at 4%, I'm doing it for free, because 3% of it is going to the buyer agent across the MLS. Now, the reason I put it for 3% across the MLS is because that 3% BAC is my biggest marketing tool. That 3% is going to be marketed to worldwide, nationwide agents that are full-time agents that are marketing to the most qualified buyers out there, cash buyers, people that are going to drive up your price, people that are qualified to buy your home, not just local people, local investors. This is going to attract people that are going to bid up the price on your home. So I'm going to offer 3% in order to get a higher price for your house. So the difference between, concerns me that any agent would take 4%. And the reason why you really should never list at 4% is because how hard is that agent going to really work for you at 4% if they're doing it for free? So if you think about the extra 2%, for instance, on an $800,000 home, it's about $16,000. So what you're asking is, can I get at least $16,000 more for your home, listing it through an agent that's proactive, making calls every day, paying for advertising, with a worldwide international brand? Absolutely, hands down, statistically, it's proven that I will get you at least $16,000 more for your home, if not more. Marketing it that way versus the way that you're kind of going about it with just kind of sticking a sign in the yard, hoping that maybe the home is going to, sell. We had a situation the other day where an agent went into a property. I mean, we had 4 brokers price it, and every single broker priced it around 460, 465.
What?
We had an agent come in and price it at 660. So that seller was thinking that that was actually the price for the house. That agent is their intention is to put a sign in the yard and collect referral fees.
Right.
So you've got listing agents and you've got people that are trying to collect referrals. So I'm a listing agent. I want you guys to get moved on to the next place. Right?
Good.
You've got to have a powerful, it concerns me that someone would list your home and not be able to negotiate their own livelihood. You hire a third-party negotiator like myself because it's a proven statistic that a third-party person, you hire an attorney, correct? Because they can negotiate better price, better terms for you. And the reason why you hire an agent is because it's the same thing. They can negotiate higher price, higher terms for you. And so if you're hiring somebody based on the fact that they can't negotiate higher than 4% for themselves, and you're putting all your trust in them to negotiate your equity in your home, it just concerns me that you're putting all your faith in somebody to negotiate your equity in your home when they can't negotiate for their own livelihood. So just some different things to say.
Okay.
Katie, do you ever ask them, for example, if they say they want to pay 4% or want you to charge them 4% commission, do you ever ask them a general question why, or followed up with, again, like, why do you want to do that besides maybe saving money, and have them try to explain their way into or out of that? Okay, I want it because, again, do you follow up with any questions such as, what do you think goes into that 4% or that 6% commission? And get them to try to explain themselves into, oh, here's why I would pay you that.
What's so interesting in the market like we have right now is there's so many full-time agents that are offering 4%, that are doing the full shebang. Big companies that are offering 4% because they have a difficult time presenting their value, or maybe they don't feel like they're worth it. Then maybe they don't see their value. So we're in a market where it's very difficult, right? So I don't know if you want to go down that rabbit hole. The only thing that I can say is that I have done so many presentations with agents, with clients, that if you build value, like if your presentation is built on questions, and you get down to the end and it's all about the client. It's not about, you talking at them, because if it's all about the client and they're so involved in themselves, what they want, what's important to them, what their expectations are, when you get down to the end, you're not defending your commission. Like, you're never defending your commission. This will never happen. Like, the worst that ever will happen is you may have somebody that, may want a discount, and your conversation is, I want to be a long-term agent for you. Kind of like Joyce was saying, I want to help your kids, your grandkids. I want to be that lifetime agent for you guys. So I want something to work out for you guys, for me, for everybody involved. So how about we do 5.5%? Like, take it down 0.5%. Because I think what we do as agents is we all of a sudden just go, okay, let's do 4, or okay, let's do 5. We make it so easy that the client is like, oh, well, maybe I should ask for 4. 5 was so easy. Instead of really understanding our value and that we believe that we're worth what we charge, right? We've gotten so far away from understanding what our value is as agents, and that we really can get them that money out of, what they're doing, that they don't believe in our value, because we don't. So, because I'll tell you, if you get down to the end and they believe wholeheartedly your confidence, which you guys are amazing agents. And your confidence, and they know that you're going to go to the ends of the earth with them. It's not about your commission, right? Especially your past clients. It's not even about your commission. So if they ask you for a little commission, like, it's okay to like just say, hey, you guys are long-term clients of mine. Like, you guys are family to me. Your parents, I've helped your parents, I've helped your aunts and uncles and cousins. I mean, you guys both have situations like that you get involved in. And say, I want to work with your people that your friends, your family members. So, I'm happy to do something. How about we do 5.5 instead of just doing whatever they say?
I have on those situations where they are loyal people and I've had multiple sales, I do a reduction, but I always say, and of course, though, I hope you'll pass my name along to those, to any of your friends. And they generally say, well, of course we will.
Right.
But I feel like I need to plant that seed so that they do feel like it's just kind of a special thing that's happening for them. Mike, how do you deal with that?
Same way. If I'll talk with some of those again, for me, it's about building a relationship, building a rapport. I've got some clients that we were going to write an offer on their home or on a home they wanted yesterday, and they decided not to do it because they were concerned about selling their home first, even though they got the loan acceptance without a home contingency. They just don't want to have two mortgages. And when we spoke about it and talked at length, it came down to they're not ready to list their home yet. Not that they don't think their home could sell or that I could sell it for them, but because I work so diligently helping them look for homes. We have seriously looked at 20 homes, and that they are saying, okay, we went from, well, we know some people who's an agent, and so do we just want to let you know, to we want you to be our agent and to list our home. And it's because we had to work on this period of time developing that rapport. And fortunately, I got to help them look for homes. And so I haven't even said this yet, and I may not say it, but I have worked in the past with others where, thank you for allowing me to help you buy your home. I know you need to sell your home. Because we have this rapport and because I want a long-term relationship with you, I can drop my percentage on helping you list your home, since you're allowing me to help you buy your home and list your home. That's usually when I offer a
That's
discount.
a good way to circle it. Yeah. Okay.
No, I think that's great. I always like just to mention, maybe offer it on the second purchase. So many people offer it on the first sale. You know what I mean? Maybe offer it on the second sale. But you know what though? I mean, I'm not even going to say that. I'm always one that just goes with your gut. I think business comes around, it goes full circle. So I think you do what you do. I just, like Joyce was saying, I think that sometimes you kind of shoot yourself in the foot when you give somebody a huge discount, especially in your family, because it kind of circulates. And now you have someone that just gives everybody a huge discount. So, you kind of have to be, but I think you do kind of have to go with your gut.
It does circulate, because I have used an approach of, I am doing this for you because of our relationship, but I don't want you telling people about it. Yeah, well, then their coworker calls me, well, Bob and Judy said you, and it's like, you can't, if it's a secret, people can't keep secrets. You don't share something that you don't expect it to move forward with the wind,
Yeah, it is. It's a tough one.
So yeah, that didn't work, hasn't worked well for me, trying to make them feel special, because they want everybody else to know how special they are.
Yes. It is. And you know what, for the first time, just even last couple of years, it's been one of the toughest markets with commission. It really has.
Well, and I had an interesting situation. I saw it from my seller's perspective. So I did list a home at 1.2 and offered a 2% commission to the BAC. We've
Mhm.
now raised it to 2.5, but an agent used this addendum. Apparently it came out a few years ago, but it's the first time I've encountered it, where they are actually, I discussed this with the attorney at a hearing the other day. I said, help me understand how this is not negotiating commission as part of the real estate purchase contract. And, they said, well, this one came out in an attempt to deal with some of the very low commissions. But basically the addendum was that the agency would receive another 1% commission, which goes to the agent. And my clients when they reviewed that, they said, well, this is really ballsy. And I'm quoting them. And I said, well, we did offer a commission that is below the expectation of the overall market, but a 2% commission on 1.2 is still a pretty significant commission. And part of it was that their proceeds, they haven't owned the home long enough to have really the amount of equity that they would like to have to make this move. They hadn't planned to move as quickly as they are. So, in that case, I didn't really feel to defend that agent. But it seemed to me even, but they were the ones who said, this is kind of strange. Have you seen this before? And I said, no, this is a new one. It was an interesting conversation.
Did you ask the agent if his client knows about the addendum?
The clients actually sign it.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
during the market when you didn't want to do a brokerage commission escrow instruction to the agent, because they just would ignore them. And plus, if you try to send them over, you would miss out, right? The market was moving too quickly. So they came out with an idea that you could actually put it in the offer and ask the seller for it, not the brokerage, but the seller. So they came up with verbiage where you could put it right in the offer, and the buyer actually was asking the seller for their agent to receive more money because they had signed a buyer broker agreement stating that they would pay their agent 3. And if they weren't offering 3%, then they could ask the seller to pay that additional money to their agent, right?
And it has to be paid to the brokerage. But of course, we know it goes to the agent.
Yes, always. Yes, always the broker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and their response, that offer was not accepted because in order for them to move on, they can't have a contingency. And it was day one, and the property that had to be sold was in Nephi, and it far exceeded the median value of the community. And it had been on the market last year and it expired. So it wasn't a good situation to accept that offer. I responded that once they're under contract and through their contingencies, we'd love to entertain an offer again. But, this offer contained a request for concessions and various things. And my sellers just said, wow, they want the moon. And I always try to find the positive, but on this one, it's like, I think maybe they are pushing a little bit more than your fair value is on this home. But it did come across as greedy from my seller's perception.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask is, I know that the buyers, of course, know it if they sign it. Sometimes you'll get agents who will ask you before submitting an addendum. And usually I tell them my clients aren't up for paying any more a commission than we've already agreed upon.
Right.
And are your clients okay with having their offer for what they're paying based on you getting more commission?
Yeah.
Putting it on them and not their buyers, but putting it on them. Do they know that they will be that they're asking the seller to pay 1% to your agent on that. This could cost them the sale. This could cost them the
Right.
purchase.
Yes.
And don't you think too that with electronic signing becoming our norm, that even though I say to people, I've sent you this offer, call me as you are going through it so that I can go over the details, it comes back 5 minutes later, signed. They just go click, next, click, and sign. So it causes me to wonder, even though that addendum bore the buyer's signatures, did they understand,
Did they really see it?
yeah, and
How
how
was
it
it explained to them?
impacted their overall strength, or basically it kind of weakened their offer is what it
Yeah.
did.
Did they
Exactly.
know that? Yeah.
And that's the point. It's weakening your offer, and it comes down, in my mind's always like, how was it explained to them? And so I would want to talk with them, or have them talk and say, do you understand? Or they understand this weakens their offer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I would hope, I mean, most of the agents I knew that would do it only after the heighten of the market, or like not when they were going up against other offers. You know what I
Right.
mean? Otherwise, you're just doing your client such a disservice.
Yes.
So, for
Okay.
sure. Well, you guys, I know that we spent all of their time, but I think it was a good discussion. I think it will help others. So,
I've enjoyed this. I've taken a page plus of notes.
good.
Katie, and will you send these attachments, these
I will.
scripts? I don't think I have them in my possession.
I
Yeah,
will
they
for
were
sure.
in the extra details of the meeting announcement. I looked.
I
That would
will.
be
I'll
great.
send those to you for sure.
All
All right,
right.
you guys, thank you for being on. It was fun today.
Yeah,
Thanks for your
thank
time. I learned a
you.
lot.
Yeah, I'll see you guys next time.
All right.
a
Thank
great
you
week.
all. Bye-bye.
Thanks, you guys. Bye-bye.